the same unit, the last topic might be that is a maintenance management. Now, what do you actually mean by maintenance? Now, can anyone respond that what is maintenance? What you are going to do with the maintenance? Is it is it actually required by the organization to go for the maintenance? Because I'm talking about the organizations, isn't it? So now, can you please tell me what is this maintenance and why do you require this maintenance in the organization? Is it necessary? Is it necessary, friends? Yes, anybody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what does actually maintenance mean? So what I'm talking about? See, in the organization setup, you will be definitely having lot of equipment, lot of plant and machinery equipment, and even buildings, factory sheds, etc., etc., etc. If you look up, I think the total capital, the fixed capital, will be into these assets for long-term assets of the organization. So if all these assets, why all these assets are actually bought by the company? The only intention is to earn some return on this particular investment. The organizations will be setting up all these, isn't it? So if these are running in a proper manner, if these are functioning according to their functionalities, if they are functioning, then definitely the organization can reap some profit out of those particular assets, isn't it? So in order to make them to be in the way they have to be, I think a maintenance should be there, isn't it? Okay, so maintenance is actually a function of a production management. Okay, so that is concerned with the day-to-day problem of keeping the physical plant in a good operating condition. Okay, friends, so it is essential there is certain essential activity in every manufacturing firm, and even the service firms also. Say for example, you take the setup of a hospital. Okay, even they do have an equipment, isn't it? And you take up the setup of a hotel. Okay, even that has a equipment, machinery equipment, etc., etc. Now, because it is necessary to ensure the availability of machines, buildings, okay, and services needed by other parts of the organization for the performance of their function, okay, to what you can say, to function at an optimum return on investment, okay, investment either on the machines or on the materials or on the employees or on the building or whatever it may be, okay, whatever you are considering. But maintenance is exclusively for, okay, what I am talking about in this particular concept is all about all activities that maintain facilities and equipment in a good working order so that a system can perform as intended. Okay, so two basic categories are there. The two basic categories are actually the buildings and the grounds, that is the open place available, okay, which has to be maintained. Machinery equipment maintenance also required, which supports the manufacturing and the concern. Okay, so do you feel that there is a requirement of maintenance management? Yes. Maintenance management is concerned with the direction and organization of resources, in order to control the availability and performance of the industrial plants, to some specified level, whatever level you require, that level, it has to be managed. Okay. So the maintenance has to be provided, okay, for the so-called concerned things, for the concerned things in the sense for the concerned machinery and the equipment also. In general, it is a function supporting production function. If your production function is suddenly stops, what happens? Because you are not doing maintenance, their production function, that is your production operations, will stop immediately. So in order not to happen, I think you need to keep doing this particular task, that is your maintenance task. So, it is a task of keeping the machinery, equipment, and plant services, in a proper working condition. That is what I mean. I repeat once again. That is maintenance management is a task of keeping the machinery, equipment, and plant services in proper working condition. Okay, friends. So the management, when you're talking about management, usually you know, and I'm talking about maintenance, right? Maintenance management. So it also involves maintenance planning, huh? Maintenance scheduling, execution of maintenance activities. Now, what do you actually mean in maintenance activities, friends? It is a repair. When you have a repair, okay. If it is a breakdown, you repair your breakdown, okay. And any other measures you want to take, any precautionary measures you want to take, okay. All that is only inclusive of maintenance activities, okay. So why you do all these activities, friends? For controlling of your costs, isn't it? Either your total cost or your cost of maintenance at the first instance. Okay, friends. So that is what I actually mean. Okay, friends. Now let me just concentrate on what is the actual objective of your maintenance. When you are talking about maintenance, what is your objective? Now I feel to express it that, like, the maintenance is related with, if I take into consideration the plant maintenance. So what does it actually considers? It considers about the maximizing production. Because why maximizing production? Because you are maintaining that particular machinery every day. For example, if there is some grease problem, you are putting the grease inside the machine. Okay, if there is a conveyor belt problem, you are repairing it. If there is some stuck down, you are just doing it. You are every day you are cleaning that, so that your equipment will be fine. So what happens is you will be having a maximum production that can be taken on the same plant, or a machinery. That is what I feel, isn't it? So the next thing is minimizing energy usage, or a fuel consumption, or it will, with, see, generally what happens is, even in your cars, your bikes, when you might have heard or experienced this, saying that somebody may be telling you, sir, when I purchased the vehicle, it used to give me, so 20 kilometers per hour కార్ అయితే 20 kilometers ఇచ్చేదండి, ఇప్పుడు మాత్రం 12 kilometers ఇస్తుందండి, 13 ఇస్తుందండి అంటే. now why it is like, there may be a maintenance problem, that may be the reason. So if you are continuously doing it, so what happens is, now if you are continuously maintaining it, definitely you will have a minimum usage of energy or fuel. That is what I mean. Okay, so optimizing usual life of equipment. See, the machinery may have its own life. For example, if your supplier of the machine has given you a promise that it is going to work for 5 years, and if you are continuously maintaining it, so definitely you'll be reaching that particular 5 years, 5 years. And sometimes because of your excellent maintenance, it may even function beyond the time also. So that is what you can say, optimizing your usual life of the equipment, and providing budgetary control, because you are maintaining your plant in the way it has to function. You will not have any disturbances. You will not have sudden breakdown of the machine, or non-functioning of the machine. If it is so, what happens is you need to replace it immediately. But because you are doing it, you're maintaining, you can have a proper budget. Because it is already the lifetime of the particular project machinery is 5 years. So now it is already 3 years. Is over. The next 2 years, you need to provide this particular budget, for replacing your machinery. Okay, so you can plan accordingly, because you're maintaining your plant in such a way, that you can also rely on your budgeting. Okay, so even it can go for providing budgetary control also. Okay, friends. So optimizing resources utilization. Okay, so because there is no such, there is no such problem, that is, there is no wastage because you're continuously maintaining it. You have found some pitfalls, that the machine is throwing some raw material outside, immediately you have identified and maintained it, so that your total resources are, optimized. You are using it to the maximum utilization. Okay, because you are maintaining it. If you would not have seen that the product is being thrown away by the machine, you don't have that optimization or optimizing your resources utilization. And on to the other side, now he has given you, next is reduce breakdowns, because you are maintaining every day or every frequently, or the time required you are maintaining. It definitely reduces your breakdown. There will not be sudden stop of your machine. That is what he says. Okay, so reduce downtime, even downtime, that is fall of that, decrease in the, what you can say, performance. That also will not go down. Okay, even that will be maintained. Okay, now improving equipment efficiency, that also will be maintained. Your equipment efficiency, that is the equipments which are connected to the machines also will be having an improvement because you are maintaining it. Okay, improving inventory control system, because your machine is performing as it is required to perform. Okay, you can properly plan your material requirement plan. Okay, so you can forecast your EOQ levels, and you can also determine your maximum level in the ground, your minimum level in the ground, your safety stock in the ground. You can also forecast your reorder level in the ground, and accordingly you can go ahead because your plant is maintained properly. Okay, friends. And the next and last, which is not the least, of course, implementing cost reduction, because you are maintaining your machinery. The total cost of maintenance, will be, you can say, the cost of, what you can say, cost of total operation, you can say, cost of production, you may talk about. If you are not maintaining, for example, if you are not maintaining your machinery, then if suddenly some breakdown has occurred, and if you could not able to rectify the breakdown within the time required, what happens? What happens ultimately? Your cost of production increases. Why? Because you need to bring the technicians from another place, immediately. If you are providing him the flight charges, if he has to come suddenly, he has to sacrifice something and he has to come. So therefore, he may charge you more amount. Okay, or if something, because you're not maintaining it, something might have gone wrong and you need to replace a bigger part, where in which a high amount of cost may be incurred. Okay, so all these, will get reduced. All these get reduced, the moment you are going for a maintenance. So maintenance objectives are these actually. Now, friends, so there are different types of maintenance, according to the convenience, or according to the organizational setup of the organizations. Okay, you may have a different what you can say, types of maintenance. Okay, friends. But before I go to the types of maintenance, let me just give you a small scope. I'll just thoroughly throw a small idea around the scope of maintenance. Every manufacturing organization definitely needs uh, this maintenance course, because there may be a machines breakdown, there or parts, sometimes parts of the particular machine may have a wear and tear, uh, uh, and sometimes, even buildings also may deteriorate, uh, may come may because it may be exposed to, salt, sea, maybe the buildings are very close to the seashore. Okay, they may have a deterioration. or because of its age also it may come down. Okay, where in which you require some maintenance, isn't it? So all segments of the factories, if you look at, a small factory, imagine a factory, friends, where in which, you'll have all segments, you are talking about the building or a machinery or the equipments which are connected to the machinery or any other parts. Okay, or the tools what you are using inside, friends, or if you imagine PHPV or so, or shipyard or so, you have a cranes, you have a jigs, you have a fixtures, you have a heating equipment, generators, you have a waste disposable systems, you have air conditioners, huh? You have a washroom. Yes, they're also equipped with some technologies, some dispensaries, also you may be having, and so on and so forth, friends. When you just imagine an organization, just imagine a steel plant, what is the total equipment, machinery, plant and machinery, buildings, etc. Imagine, all those are actually covered, friends. Maintenance, in the sense, you have such a scope, wide, broad area. Okay, so that maintenance I'm talking about. Okay, friends. Well, now I'm going to show you an idea on the types of maintenance. Well, the first one here, which is written, is a breakdown maintenance or corrective maintenance. Okay, friends. So there are various, you may classify, according to the planned maintenance, unplanned maintenance, or you may just list down the types of maintenance like these, or you may have a different mode of presenting, but all of them talk about only these. Okay, right? So therefore, I just want to give you all these, and so therefore, I'm starting with the main types of maintenance. Now, as I just told you that the breakdown maintenance or a corrective maintenance, you know, as the name suggests, simply corrective maintenance. Now, when there is a work stoppage because the machine breakdown, okay, then maintenance becomes a repair work. Repairs are made after the equipment is out of order. Simply, for example, electric motor will not start. Okay, a conveyor belt is ripped off. Ripped off in the sense a chain thing going. Okay, or some part in the machinery has broken down. In such a cases, as the maintenance department checks into the difficulty and makes the necessary repairs. Okay, so then, and after it does, what happens? The machine again gets corrected. The machine again gets corrected. That is what it means. Okay, the moment you have a breakdown, okay, so then you will do the correction. That is what the breakdown maintenance or a corrective maintenance means. So, role of the maintenance department here in this case is a passive piece. Now, what does this achieve actually? The breakdown. What does this achieve? They do one task. First thing, they quickly make it possible that the particular machinery is into working condition. Because the machine has breakdown, okay, there will be a problem in the production process, and the total production department will be stuck with this particular thing. And it will definitely show an impact on the number of units to be produced. That is a productivity. Okay, so breakdown also throws light on controlling the cost of repairs, regular and overtime labor costs, cost of operation of repair shops. It also control the investment and replacement spare parts that are used when machines are repaired. Okay, so all these are part and parcel. Right, now let me move on to, I hope you understood what is a breakdown. Now let us move on to the next one, friends. That is preventive maintenance. Now, what you can understand here? The preventive in the sense before happening, you are preventing to occur. That is to you are preventing the breakdown to occur. That is what I mean. Okay, so that is what you mean. That is what it means. Now, which is actually undertaken before the need arises, and which aims, to minimize the possibility of that unexpected interruptions or major breakdowns. See, if your organization is a steel producing, or if your organization has a furnace. Now, if your organization is having a furnace, and if you are not maintaining it, huh, or preventive maintenance is not there, or protective maintenance is not there, then what happens is, if you are going for a breakdown maintenance, అంటే రిపేర్ వస్తే బాగా చేస్తున్నారండి అని అనుకుంటున్నారు అనుకోండి, సచ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్. ఫర్నెస్ ఒక్కసారి ఆగిపోయింది అంటే దాన్ని మళ్ళీ రీకన్స్టిట్యూట్ చేయాలి అంటే యూ రిక్వైర్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్. So in such cases, you should not go for a breakdown maintenance, friends. Rather, you should be able to adopt a preventive maintenance. Preventive రాకుండా చూసుకోవాలి, కానీ వచ్చిన తర్వాత చేస్తానంటే అలాగవుతుంది. అంటే కొన్ని ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్ ఎప్పుడో చేస్తాయంటే ఇట్స్ కన్వీనియన్స్ ఇట్ విల్ డూ. ఏమంటే నాకు ఇప్పుడు కార్ ఉంది అనుకుందాం, ఏమంటే కార్ నేను రోజు ఆ ఇంజిన్ అన్ని ఇప్పేసి మొత్తం అంతా రోజు చేసుకొని కూర్చుంటే ఎలాగవుతుంది? దాన్ని ప్రివెంటివ్ మెయింటెనెన్స్ అనుకొని అలా కాదు కదా. అది రిపేర్ వచ్చినప్పుడు నేను రిపేర్ షాప్ తీసుకెళ్తాను. అంటే అప్పుడు అలాంటి ఎక్విప్మెంట్స్కి, కార్లు అటువంటి వాటికి, బైకులకి బ్రేక్ డౌన్ వచ్చినప్పుడు తీసుకెళ్తాం రిపేర్కి. ఏమంటే మరి ఫర్నెస్లు వాటికి అలాగే చేస్తానంటే ఎలాగవుతుంది? కాదు కదా. ఓకేనా? సో యూ నీడ్ టు ఇమాజిన్ వేర్ యూ వాంట్ టు అప్లై విచ్ టెక్నిక్, విచ్ మెయింటెనెన్స్ యూ రిక్వైర్. సో ప్రాపర్ డిజైన్ అండ్ ఇన్స్టాలేషన్ ఆఫ్ the preventive equipments is very much required. Periodic inspection of a plant and equipment, to prevent breakdowns before they occur is very much necessary. Repetitive servicing, for those particular furnaces or that big equipment, which causes, which has a chance of a breakdown, and which may cause problem to us. In those cases, we better go for a preventive maintenance. Now, what you'll actually do, you will either overhauling the equipment, or adequate lubrication, cleaning the equipment, or if there is any painting to be done, painting for the buildings, if it is deteriorating, you go for a painting, or you go for going for a POP on that, and go for a paint, or whatever is required, you need to do it. Isn't it, friends? Okay. Yeah. Now let us move on to the next one, friends. What is the next one? Next one is predictive. What is this predictive? Preventive ante raakunda చూడు. సరే, predictive ante ఏంటి మరి? What do you understand by predictive? You are anticipating here. If something will go wrong, how to maintain it. So this is one you can say it is one of the newer types of maintenance, that may be anticipated to gain increasing attention on the total plant, machinery, buildings, etc. you are using. Now, this is called as a predictive maintenance. What is that? You are anticipating. Okay. So in this, for example, you have a very sensitive instruments. The audio gauges, or amplitude meters అంటారు, opticals కొన్ని ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, you have a laser technology. I think you heard about laser treatment for eyes. So in such cases, what you need to do. You need to imagine what is going to happen the next moment. For example, if the patient is there, okay, and whose eyes are now open, and that the laser treatment is now done for his eyes, what type of equipment you need to use. You need to also predict, is it going to hamper anything for the patient. Is there is any chances of spoilage of that particular of that equipment, or any device, or the race, or etc etc. You try to imagine, that in such cases, definitely you need to predict whether your functionality of that particular machine is going to be in the way which is described, or which has to perform. ఓకే, ఆ పనితనం ఏదైతే చేయాలో ఆ మెషిన్, అది అలాగే చేస్తుందా, లేకపోతే అలా చెయ్యడానికి స్కోప్ ఉందా, అలా అటువంటి చెయ్యకుండా ఏమైనా చిన్న ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఏమైనా అక్కర్ అవడానికి ఏమైనా ఉందా, ఏమైనా చిన్న తేడా జరిగితే అటువంటి వాటిలో కళ్ళే పోతాయి లేజర్ ట్రీట్మెంట్. ఏమంటే వాడు ఎంత టైం పీరియడ్ ఆ మెషిన్ అక్కడ కంటి మీద ఉంచాలో అంత టైం కరెక్ట్గా ఉంచాలి. ఇంకంతకన్నా ఏమైనా చిన్న టైం వేరే అయినా సరే ప్రాబ్లం వస్తుంది. అలాగే ఏమైనా రేస్ కూడా ఏమైనా తేడా వచ్చాయనుకోండి, మిషన్ ఫ్లక్చుయేషన్స్లో, లేకపోతే ఎక్విప్మెంట్ ఫ్లక్చుయేషన్స్ అయిందనుకోండి, అలాంటివి రాకుండా ఉండాలంటే ప్రిడిక్టివ్ మెయింటెనెన్స్ ఇస్ వెరీ మచ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఇలాంటివి ఎన్నో ఉంటాయి ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్లో. ఏమండి, సో యూ నీడ్ టు నో what you can say, measuring gauges. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏదో ఐస్ క్రీమ్ తయారు చేస్తున్నారు అనుకోండి, ఆ ఐస్ క్రీమ్ టెంపరేచర్ ఎంత ఉండాలి, ఆ టెంపరేచర్ మెజర్ చేసేది, ఆ టెంపరేచర్ మెజర్మెంట్సే మనం చూసి ఆ ఐస్ క్రీమ్ని మనం అలా ఫ్లో చేస్తాం. సో ఆ టెంపరేచర్ మెజర్ చేసేదే పాడైపోయింది అనుకోండి మీటర్, ఏమంటే అప్పుడు మనకి ఎలా ఉంటుందండి, ఐస్ క్రీమ్ టెంపరేచర్ మనకి రిఫ్లెక్ట్ చేయదు కరెక్ట్గా. పాత టెంపరేచర్ ఏదో రిఫ్లెక్ట్ చేస్తే మనం అదే అనుకుంటాం, మనం తీరం వచ్చి చూస్తే అవుట్పుట్ అంతా పాడైపోతుంది. ఏమండి, సో యూ నీడ్ టు గో ఫర్ some predictive maintenance, in the cases where it requires actually. Okay, right? Okay. I feel that you have understood. Now, routine maintenance only. Routine maintenance, the word itself tells you. Routine maintenance. So this includes activities like, periodic inspection. Machine that kelladam chodam baunda leda bagapothe clean చేయడం, లూబ్రికేషన్స్ ఏమైనా వేయాలనుకోండి, గ్రీస్ పెట్టడం, లేకపోతే ఆయిల్ వేయడం, లేకపోతే ఇంకోటి ఏదో రిపేర్ ఏదో రిపేర్ చేయడం. ఎనీ ఎక్విప్మెంట్ has got some repair, that is, the equipment which is connected with the machine, if it has got some problem, you please rectify it. Okay, so that it will give you more life. Okay, so routine maintenance actually be divided into two parts. Routine maintenance is actually is classified into two. The first one, you can say it is a running maintenance, and the next one is a shutdown maintenance. Okay, so what is running maintenance? The maintenance work is carried out while the equipment is in the operating condition. I repeat, friends. So when the maintenance work is carried out while the equipment is in the operating condition, okay, like greasing, lubricating, bearings, if it is something has happened to bearings, when the machine is running, you replace it, or you try to grease it, so that it will run in a proper way. Now what is the second one? That I told you, it is a shutdown maintenance. So when the maintenance work is carried out when the machine or equipment is out of service, after shutting down the machine or equipment. Okay, so then that is called as a shutdown maintenance, because it is not actually working. Before you scrap it or before you send it, you want you can say it has stopped its working. The equipment stopped its working. Let us assume that if it still has its life, now what you need to do, if you just keep it aside, it may be out of order. So to make it as it works previously, what you will be doing is you will be maintaining it, that it will not go out of order. That is what it is. Okay, so that is simply a routine maintenance. Okay, friends. Now what is the last one? Last one is about the planned maintenance. Now what do you understand by the planned maintenance. Planned maintenance in the sense, predetermined schedule is known. As scheduled maintenance or a productive maintenance is there, you know, this actually involves inspection of all plant and equipment, right? Machinery, buildings, in order to service, and even what else you are doing, you know, in the routine maintenance. Of course, you will also do. But the only thing here you are observing this, you will have the proper planning for maintenance. That is what simply a planned maintenance. You will write down that you know which machine has to be maintained which day, without disturbing the production process. Because if you keep on disturbing the production process, that will be a problem for the production. Okay, so you don't want to disturb the production process, and you want to maintain it when it is not in a working condition. Okay, or when it is in working condition, but when and it is not disturbing the production process. Okay, and those parts you will be maintaining. So you will have a planning for each and every part of your plant and machinery. Okay, so this, what it does is it simply does the same, that it will reduce your machine stoppage. Okay, due to sudden breakdowns. Okay, and no such emergency necessity. Okay, all that. Okay, friends. Friends, generally there is an argument, you know, which actually goes uh, into. So what is that actually? Uh, so there are two types of arguments actually. Whether I follow the breakdown maintenance or shall I go to the preventive maintenance? So what does the preventive maintenance mean, and what does breakdown maintenance mean? When there is a problem, treating it is said to be a breakdown maintenance. And what is preventive? Before the before the so-called breakdown occurs, I'll prevent those particular problems. You know, those particular problems by by maintaining it continuously. Preventive. Okay, so there is two arguments here. What is the argument? One set of people say that you are going for preventive maintenance, man. The moment you are thinking of the preventive maintenance, over the year, for example, if you have started at the beginning of the year, friends. Okay, so the first it may be 100 rupees. Okay, so maintenance has costed you 100 rupees for first month. Let us assume. Okay, so the second month, you may have some other repairs, and along with the first month, if I accumulate, I may be having along the second month 200 plus first month it is 100 plus 200 comes to 300 rupees. So another next month, again I need to incur some expenditure. So if you keep on going for the preventive maintenance, it is a graph which is showing an increase in the line. Preventive maintenance, some people argue that it is only a cost bearing. Okay, and some people also argument that no problem, I'll go for a breakdown maintenance. When the repair comes, I'll go and go and get it repaired. That is the only thing I want to do. So they feel that in a year I'll have very less number of times the breakdown. So if you see my graph, the cost may be going down. Maybe going down because I may not be actually incurring the every moment. I may not be incurring the cost every moment. There is a clash between, and people suggest that it is better you invest in the preventive maintenance at the place where both of them meet. Okay, so let us now experience this with a problematic part here. Okay, right. So here, friends, please go through the data once. XYZ company has a frequency of a breakdown of its machine. I repeat, friends, XYZ Limited has a frequency of a breakdown, okay, of its machinery as follows. So number of breakdowns it is talking about is 0. 0 times breakdown is 20%. What is that? Number of frequency of occurrence. Number of breakdowns and frequency of occurrence is given, friends. I am trying to explain you the given problem only. Okay, so in a year 20% chances are there not to have a breakdown. 30% chances are there to have one breakdown of the machine. 40% chances are there to have two breakdowns. 10% chances are there to have three breakdowns in a year. Additionally, is also giving you another data, friends, here. If the average cost of a breakdown is rupees 1000, ఒక్కసారికి అంటే బ్రేక్ డౌన్ అయిన ఒక్కసారికి అంటే average cost కానీ 1000 రూపాయలు అయితే, and is also giving you another data. The cost of preventive maintenance is 1250 per month. ఎంతండి? 1250 per month. Preventive maintenance is given. Of course, you need to calculate the breakdown maintenance cost. Preventive maintenance total cost is given to you. You need to compare the breakdown cost with the preventive maintenance cost, and you should, is asking you, should we use preventive maintenance or breakdown maintenance? That is what is asking you. Now, which you will be going? So whichever cost is less, for that you will be voting, isn't it? Now let us experience this. Now as he has given you the number of breakdowns, okay, the number of breakdowns are these, isn't it? That is 0 breakdown, 1 breakdown, 2 breakdown, 3 breakdown, and he has given you corresponding frequencies or probabilities are given. So 0 breakdowns, 20% probability, expected number of breakdowns are 0. Okay, 1 breakdown, okay, so frequency is, that is the probability is 30%, it comes to 0.30, and the next it comes to 0.80, and the next comes to 0.30. The total expected number of breakdowns has come to 1.40. And friends, now if the expected cost to see, sorry friends, here he has given you only for a month, it is not for a year, okay, so only for a month. Why? Because if you look at the data, he is talking about the preventive maintenance per month, okay, and of course this is also for per month only he has given you, isn't it? Okay, now friends, now what is your expected number of breakdowns, okay, in a month? It is 1.40. Now what is the cost per breakdown? 1.40 breakdowns you got, right, on an average expected number of breakdowns. Simply talks about average, because you have multiplied with the probability, okay, so this is said to be an average, okay, right? So expected cost of repair is equal to, that is the total cost of repair in the breakdown, is equal to 1.40 breakdowns per month into 1000 rupees per breakdown. It has come to 1400 rupees. 1400 rupees. Okay, so if you are going for a breakdown maintenance, it is costing you 1400. Now what is said in the problem is, the preventive maintenance is only 1250. Now which one would be better, whether this or this? Breakdown maintenance is costing you more and your preventive maintenance is costing you less. Your preventive maintenance results in a savings of 150 per month. This is only in 1000 rupees we are talking about. The maintenance costs in the big organizations may be in lakhs of rupees generally. So the savings also will be in lakhs of rupees if you are going to compare like this. Let us experience with the another problem also. Here comes another problem. A PQR company has kept records of breakdowns of its machines for a 300-day work year as shown below. Okay, friends, how many days? He is talking about 300-day work year as shown below. Now the firm estimates that each breakdown costs rupees 650. Now what is the cost per breakdown? It is rupees 650, and is considering adopting a preventive maintenance program, which would cost rupees 200 per day, and limit the number of breakdowns to an average of 1 per day. So if you properly understand, the organization is working for 300 days, and of course the breakdown per breakdown cost is 650. It is also thinking of a preventive maintenance program where it would cost 200 per day and limit the breakdowns to an average of 1 per day. 200 రూపాయలు చొప్పున మనం ఒకవేళ రోజుకి కానీ మనం ప్రివెంటివ్ మెయింటెనెన్స్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ పెడితే ఆన్ అండ్ యావరేజ్గా రోజుకి ఒకసారి మెషిన్ బ్రేక్ డౌన్ అవడానికి ఛాన్సెస్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో వాటిని ప్రివెంట్ చేస్తుందండి అని అంటున్నారు. ఒకవేళ ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ పెట్టాలా ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్ పెట్టాలా అన్నది డిసైడ్ చేయడానికి మీకు ఇచ్చేస్తున్నాడు. సో what is the expected annual savings from preventive maintenance program? That is what the question is. Okay friends, one minute. ఇదేవి మంచినీళ్ళు కొంచెం మంచినీళ్ళు. Well friends, so here is the data which is given to you. So what is the data given to you in a table? It is a number of breakdowns are given. Of course you know pretty well that only the breakdowns data will be given to you. Okay, so number of breakdowns, okay, and the frequency of hits happening in days are given to you. ఏమండి 300 రోజుల్లో ఏమండి ఒక్కసారి బ్రేక్ డౌన్ అంటే 0 టైమ్స్ బ్రేక్ డౌన్ అన్నది 40 రోజులు ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ అయ్యారట. 40 రోజులు అస్సలు ఏమి బ్రేక్ డౌన్ మిషనరీ బ్రేక్ డౌన్ లేకుండా ఉన్నదట. ఒక్కసారి బ్రేక్ డౌన్ అన్నది 150 టైమ్స్ వచ్చిందటండి. ఏమంటే 2 టైమ్స్ బ్రేక్ డౌన్ అన్నది ఏమండి 70 రోజులు ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ అయ్యారట. 3 టైమ్స్ బ్రేక్ డౌన్ అన్నది ఏమండి 30 రోజులు ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ అయ్యారట. 4 సార్లు బ్రేక్ డౌన్ అన్నది 10 రోజులు ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ అయ్యారట. ఏమండి పర్ డే ఏమండి బ్రేక్ డౌన్స్ అన్నవి ఇలాగ మనకి పడిచ్చాడు. ఏమండి ఇదంతా ఒక రోజులో ఏమంటే రావడం అనమాట. ఒక రోజులో 0 బ్రేక్ డౌన్స్ రావడం అనేది ఏమండి ఇలాగనమాట ఇచ్చాడు. 300 రోజులకి వాటి తాలూకా నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ బ్రేక్ డౌన్స్ ఇచ్చేసాడు. ఓకేనా? అయితే ఇప్పుడు ముందు I think in the last problem he has given you the probability, but here he has not given you the probability, rather he has given you the frequency of its happening. Okay, right? So then what you need to do? What you need to do, friends? You need to first calculate the probability, isn't it? So the first 2 columns are one of the same. Okay, the number of breakdowns are written here, the frequency of a breakdown is written here. Okay, right? Now you need to calculate the probability of its happening. So probability simply says that out of 300 days 40 days are with a 0 breakdowns, isn't it? I repeat once again, friends, 40 days are with 0 breakdowns out of 300 days. So the probability is 40 divided by 300. 300 రోజుల్లో 40 రోజులు మాత్రమే ఇది ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ అయింది, isn't it? So 40 by 300. What is the next one then? It is 150 by 300. Next is 70 by 300. Next is 30 by 300. And the next is 10 by 300. So your probability is this. Frequency of occurrence is this. So the moment you get these, I think simply you need to multiply with the x component. Take the number of breakdowns, so multiply the last problem. The same is here also. You need to multiply 0 into 0.133, 1 into 0.50, 2 into 0.233, 3 into 0.100. So therefore you get all these values over here, and you need to accumulate it or a total it. Okay, not accumulating, it is a total it. Now the moment you total it, you have here 1.398 or approximately 1.4, okay, average breakdowns in 1.4 average breakdowns, okay, per day, out of 300 days. That is what I mean to say. 1.4 breakdowns in a day, and a cost of a breakdown maintenance is 1.4 per day into 650, which is come to 910. Okay, friends. So cost of preventive maintenance, he already told you that is 200 plus if any one ఒకసారి బ్రేక్ డౌన్ గురించి చెప్పాడు కాబట్టి ఒకసారి ఒక రోజులో ఒకసారి కానీ బ్రేక్ డౌన్ అయితే ఏమండి 200 ఏమో ప్రివెంటివ్ మెయింటెనెన్స్, ఏమండి దాంతో పాటు అంటే రోజు ఇక్కడ అయ్యేది ఇది, దాంతో పాటు ఒక రోజుకి ఒకసారి బ్రేక్ డౌన్ అన్నది వాడు చెప్పాడు కాబట్టి ఏమండి 200 ప్లస్ 650, 600 ఏంటి బ్రేక్ డౌన్ కాస్ట్ కదా, 650 రూపాయలు, 650, you need to add this, so that you will get 850, isn't it? Okay, so what is the difference, what is the saving you will have when you're going for the preventive maintenance? So breakdown maintenance, it has costed you 910, okay, and your preventive maintenance has costed 850. Your savings will be 60 rupees per day. రోజుకి 60 రూపాయలు మిగులుతుంది మన ప్రివెంటివ్ మెయింటెనెన్స్ కానీ చేస్తే. ఏమండి మళ్ళీ ఇంకొకసారి వెళ్తున్నాను ఇక్కడికి, ఏమండి ఇంకొకసారి మళ్ళీ మీకు నేను ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను చూడండి. ఇది ఒక రోజుకి బ్రేక్ డౌన్ మెయింటెనెన్స్ లో రోజుకి ఎన్నిసార్లు మెయింటెనెన్స్ వస్తుంది యావరేజ్గా అంటే 1.4 టైమ్స్ వస్తుంది. అంటే 1.4 టైమ్స్ ఇంటూ ఒక్కసారికి 650 రూపాయలు మన ఖర్చు అవుతుంది. అలాంటప్పుడు మీకు బ్రేక్ డౌన్ మెయింటెనెన్స్ లో రోజుకి అయ్యే ఖర్చు 910. అలా కాకుండా మీరు కానీ ప్రివెంటివ్ మెయింటెనెన్స్కి వెళ్తే వాడు అన్నాడు 200 రూపాయలు నాకు కావాలి ప్రివెంటివ్కి, దాంతోపాటు రోజుకి ఒకసారి బ్రేక్ డౌన్ అయితే 600 రూపాయలు కదా అవుతుంది, 600 రూపాయలు 650 రూపాయలు అవుతుంది కాబట్టి 200 ప్లస్ 650, ఇట్ కమ్స్ టు 850. If you consider the savings between, the difference is nothing but it is 60 rupees. Okay, so what is the annual saving from the preventive maintenance? ఒకవేళ కానీ if you are implementing the preventive maintenance, because you are saving 60 rupees per day, it is 60 into 300, that is 18,000 rupees you may be saving if you apply the preventive maintenance instead of the breakdown maintenance. That is what it means actually. Okay friends, is that okay? You have any doubts? Please get it clarified. I want you to respond. Please respond. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please tell me.